Alright, welcome back. Okay, I'm going to do some bits that I missed out of my last video, basically. I'm going to just connect some more 187s into what was the Commonwealth Games opening ritual thing. Because there's actually a dam scene in that whole thing, which I forgot to mention. And I also wanted to just do a little bit on this picture this guy's supposedly painting here. And what codes are in here. So we're going to start with this one because it was kind of difficult to get to stop in the right place, and then we'll move on to the other bits and bobs that are in there. And I also have another bit of code that I forgot to mention in the last video as well, which we'll get to in a little bit, but that is another number jump, and it's a really big number jump, and it's quite an interesting one, I think, and I'll go through that in a minute as well. So let's get started on this Commonwealth Games nonsense. So this thing here, this is very staged for the camera, and just let me double click it so it's a bit bigger. Straight away we can see that obviously, I mean, why the hell is this set up like this with this and this ladder coming over the top of here? This is not, this is a complete setup job, obviously. But I'm just saying, there's no reason for these ladders to be like this, okay? Let's get straight into it, right? So the first thing we notice on the Roman numerals around this side is the IV that would have been here, which this guy could have brought his lines in a bit here and started the V in, and we could have had the IV kind of being drawn in here for number 4, but instead we just kind of have a thick number 1 right here. So we have a 2 that we can see, obviously, we have a 3, and we have a 1. We also have a bit of a 1 up here. We do not have a 4 in here. I don't think we have a 4. What we're seeing down here, I think, is just a shadow from this guy, this line that's at the bottom here. So this is deliberate. This is a 213 reference, and it's deliberate, okay? And of course, hopefully you already know what the 213 represents, the start and the end of the cycle, okay? Now, if we come to the center, if we come to the eye here, we also have some Roman numerals coming up here, and this is what I thought was really interesting. Now, you can go to this video and see this for yourself, and you have to kind of, usually do our normal wrangling here, or my normal wrangling, which is with, and I hope this isn't really obscuring it with my highlighter on here, but where I'm at here is the number 7 in Roman numerals, okay? Then we got the 8, and then we've got 9 in Roman numerals. Well, what's interesting about this, where it goes 7, 8, 9 here, is the 9 is obviously the way the Roman numerals work is we've got a 1 in front of 10, okay, and we're minusing that 1 off, okay. So, but X marks the balance point, yeah. X marks the finish point, or where everything comes back into alignment. The two triangles meet, yeah. What's interesting is if we call the X just, I don't know, just off by itself here now, what we actually have is a 7, 8, and a 1, and then we go to X. Okay, so that is, I thought that was kind of interesting, that the 7, 8, and then the 1, and then we go back to the cross, back to the X. Okay, so I thought that was interesting, because I mean we could have had a a number 10 in here, and or we could have had a bit more in here, but they just chose these things. We got the cross and the 187 right next to it. We got the 213 in here, the other side of it. Okay, our Lucas numbers start thing, and then over here, this nonsense that's going on with this scaffold plank and this little step ladder and one big step ladder here, and what have we got? We've got a 7 right here. This is a 7. Okay, this is a 1, Not difficult to get the 7 and the 1 right there. Well, the 8 is right here. Now, if I could move this shot on a fraction of a second, you'd see a bit more of this. But what this is just a piece of, they've got a plant growing up, looks like a bit of trellis in here. And there's 8 sections in this trellis, okay? There's 8 sections in it if you count it. Okay, so you've got our 781 reference right here as well. Absolutely unbelievable. Now maybe I'm picking more than there is here. I don't know. We've also got 7 here, a 1. I don't know. Do we have an 8? We don't really have the 8 there. So I mean, I don't know what to say about that, but we definitely have 781 reference and another 781 reference here, and I'm just going to leave it at that for this bit of decode. Okay, I want to move on rapidly and make this a short video. God, I don't want to play this. Stop clicking it, Dan. Stop clicking it. You're crazy with the clicker. Right, we got to go. Let's move along a little bit. I want to go to. I got my numbers written down here, so we don't have to spend hours. Okay, I don't know if you can make this out. This is the ball ring. I mentioned this in the last video, I think. Of course, the ball ring on the ball ring on this thing. Yeah, this is the ball ring. It's the 25. Okay, it's the thing that surrounds the bullseye on the dartboard. Okay, so we have a 25 reference straight away with this ball ring. Okay, this is also a shopping centre in Birmingham as well. So we have that idea of the mall again. Okay, the same way as Back to the Future 2, we have the link back to the mall there with the courthouse being the mall. Okay, and the mall is that thing between the Washington Monument and the Lincoln Memorial. Okay, again, just this, it's all the same symbolism, just changed a little bit, but basically it's all the same symbolism. What are they making here? What's pink and shaped like an eye? And what's the pink eye? The pink eye is the Vesica Pisces. Okay, so that's what they're creating here with this little hand job. Oh my word. So okay, so we've established that this is the ball ring, and I'm going to move on now because this thing. Where do I want to move on to? Somewhere down here somewhere. Oh, we've got the trumpeters on there as well. You know, I mean, I'm not. The problem I got is I don't really want to spend, and of course, bloody Charles comes in an Aston Martin. You know, of course, you know, a little. Why have him driving in that thing? Well, Dan, he's driving in because Birmingham's like the centre of the car industry in England, or was at one point. You know, that's what it's famous for. You know, this is here. This is here to represent James Bond. This is what I think this is, right? Yeah. And the reason why they want to represent James Bond in this thing is because the 007, okay? And 007, yeah. 00 is the 8. The 7 is the 7. And the 1 is actually James Bond, okay? And that's the 187 reference with James Bond. There's another point. Oh, let me go back a little bit here. There's somewhere right here we've got a good spot. I want to. What was it? I said I got them all written down, but I'll tell you what I'll go to now. Let's go on to this part here now. 10 something. Come on. This just annoys the hell out of me. I wish I could just. Come on, baby. Let's get right on it now. Now I have to play this just a second. That's a pretty good shot of it. There it is there as well. What you got is a kind of a. It's actually pretty interesting. The colours they've used and the materials they've used. Better go with that. It's largely silver on the outside of that thing with a bit of copper tones on there and some other bits and bobs. It's difficult to tell because of the light, what you're actually looking at in terms of, because there it looks coppery and it looks burnt at one end. Here it looks coppery and patinaed with the copper, but it's also silver as well around here. And this thing looks silver right here now, but in fact, if we come on, it's a gold egg, the golden egg that the goose laid. This is the Vesica Pisces again. This is what this is. This thing in the center, the gold, that's the 50 of the bullseye. Yeah, that is the that's the golden place. Yeah, that's the Golden Gate Bridge. That is number 50. That's the place where you can see both sides of reality. If you can see both sides of reality, you can balance both sides of reality. Okay, that's the very center of the Vesica Pisces. Here we go. Here is the Vesica Pisces again. The outer lips, around that thing, the silver around the bullseye. This is the bull ring again, this silver. The 25 is the silver anniversary. This is the gold, is the 50 is the center. Okay, we got another 187 here. You just can't write this stuff. You ready for it? I hope you can see this. Okay, so we've got the Birmingham logo for 2022 on here. Just try to follow my cursor because there's a 7 here, right here. Here's the 7. Bloomin' hell, Dan. Try and follow it a bit better. There's the 7. Okay. Now the 1 is coming right here. Here's the 1. Okay, and then where's the 8? There's the 8. It's the 2 triangles right here. Here's the 8. Okay. There's a 781 right there. And it's even quite nice because it almost looks like the hangman. The gallows again. Yeah. The man that's on death row again. The man that's about to die. Yeah. The hanged man. Aye. You just can't write this stuff. That is just nuts, that symbolism there. I mean, maybe I should have got a bigger picture of it to show you a bit better, but I think if you go to this and you look it up, you can see that is a 187 in there. I can't really get any other numbers out. I tried to look to see whether I'm just like imagining this, and I'm thinking, what other numbers are in there? And I kind of want to say a 3, but then it's like, no, that's not really a 3. It just is what it is. It's a 187 as far as I can make out, but I don't know. Maybe I'm nuts. Let's go on to this bit because I want to show you the dam break, and of course we've got the trumpets going. And this is super interesting, this next bit here with this little old gal. Okay, this bit here. Okay, I'm going to come back to this in a minute, but I'm just going to play this for 1 second again. Okay, you can see what's going on here. Look at this, the color of the arena here. They've got like a sandy color, okay? It's almost like the desert. And the vehicle you drive in the desert, of course, they've got the Land Rover. And it looks like it's coming out of the desert, okay? So, you know what I'm saying here? We're coming out of the desert, okay? The Exodus right here, okay? And they've chosen they've chosen a 4x4. I know why they've chosen the Land Rover in particular, because of course they made that in Birmingham, but but they've chosen a 4x4 because that drives on sand. This is super interesting as well. We got, this random BMX bike jump over the top of this thing, right? This is the Grand Canyon that these guys, they're driving out of the desert through the Grand Canyon. Who's this dude up here? It's not Evel Knievel, it's bloody Robbie Knievel. Yeah, Evel Knievel was the guy that never made that jump. He was the guy that wanted to make the jump, but he could never do it. They wouldn't let him make the jump. Okay? But his son, Robbie Knievel, made that jump. And in fact, I might go on to that here in just in fact, let's just go on to it. Here it is. And look what date he makes the jump. May the 20th. Where have we seen 520 before? 520 at the top of here? 520. It's referencing the 25, the top of the bloody dartboard again. And we're referencing the 25-day jump between August the 17th and 9/11. You just can't write this stuff. I don't know, you know, I mean, let's go back to this a second. Let's look at the feet. Look at the length of the jump. 228 feet. Bloody hell, we're 1 foot off of the 229. He was scheduled to make the jump on April the 29th, but bad weather forced him to postpone it. Okay. Did I say that right? Postpone? I don't know. Anyway, 228 feet right there. Very interesting, because this is one off of 229, and this is one off of 521. Those other two, you know, two important numbers. Just interesting. But we still got that number at the top of the dartboard, and it's still referencing 25. So we got the Evel Knievel jump. Okay, they got the Land Rovers coming down the bloody through the desert there, through the Grand Canyon, out of the canyon, out of the valley, coming out of the valley. Yeah, that's what the symbolism is there. Yeah.
Please welcome.
Okay, this gal here, this old gal, that got the Nobel Peace Prize for something. I don't know what the hell. I don't keep up with all this stuff. I don't keep up with it enough. But what do we see? Okay, can you see this? So this is the dam. This is what represents the dam. The bull ring is the dam, okay? And what we have here is this thing basically collapsed. Yeah, you can see the debris in the background. And what they'll tell you is, I've got a funny... I think the bull ring was bombed during the war. I think that's what it said in Wikipedia. I can't remember now. But that thing was, yeah, during the Blitz, that thing was blown up somewhat, I think. But again, what have we got referenced here? We've got the collapsed dam referenced. Here she is coming out of the dark, out of the Black Pearl. And who is coming out of the Black Pearl? Just play it into the light. Okay. She's coming out of the Black Pearl, right? Into the light. And look what she's walking down first, okay? She's walking down this sort of gangway here, and then they've got a funny shaped thing here, sort of an ovally shaped thing. What I would say this represents here is this the meat and two veg, okay? And the meat is sticking up into the bull ring, and here's the two veg at the bottom. And that has penetrated into, or through, should I say, the dam wall. This is why this is busted now, okay? And then what we've got represented here is, so we've had the death of the system, the death of the matrix, the death of the Black Pearl, if you like. And what comes back out of that is the Holy Spirit, the Holy Mother. The Holy Mother. They've picked somebody that's young, female, young, and look what the hell she's wearing. Yeah, this blue robe here is what the Virgin Mary would have worn, okay, or is the symbolism that goes along with the Virgin Mary, okay. So this is the symbolism of the rebirth of the system, okay. There's the bloody Hoover Dam broken in the background. Oh dear, just can't write this stuff. Let's keep going through this. Okay. Anyway, so we have her show up, and then what do we have? We have this thing going off again now. Okay. We've almost got the rebirth of the whole system again here. Yeah, we've got the corona developing. We've got you could call this a wedding cake here. The wedding, the white wedding again. And, I mean, what does this look like? In fact, if you click it on a bit, it looks like they've got some more. You can kind of make out, if you go on this yourself, you can kind of make out some sort of pillars here coming down. This is the bloody Tower of Babel coming up here again. This is the rebirth of the matrix system. Yeah, that's coming back into alignment with the Holy Spirit, and then essentially what inevitably happens is man corrupts again. Man cannot control himself, and we have the corruption again. And that's basically, and we got the golden age up here. Yeah, right. Okay. I'll tell you something else that's interesting. So get to this point. Okay. And this is the I don't know if this is the start where they've set off with the Vesica Pisces. Yeah. Where are we at? We're at Buckingham Palace. Okay. I think that's Buckingham Palace anyway. And the gates are opening at Buckingham Palace. Now, there's a couple of little things. This is just like a little interlude bit from from that section to the torch bearing bit. Okay. The interesting thing about Buckingham Palace is if we go back to this idea of the shopping mall or the mall. Okay. Again, we've got the Washington Monument at one end, the phallus at one end, and we've got the control system basically at the other end. The Ark of the Covenant, or the dam, when the two winged angels aren't forming that bridge. Yeah, when those winged angels are apart and they're not forming the bridge, or not forming that ark, not forming the rainbow. Okay, the covenant between man and God. When that thing's not being properly fulfilled, you have the control system. Yeah, Buckingham Palace, the control system. The buck, yeah, Buckingham Palace and the buck, the dollar bill, the control system, the $1, the I-doll. Again, this is the control system, and what's interesting about this is also on the mall. This is the road that leads up to this thing. Is, funnily enough, the last time I don't know if I said this in the last video, but the last time I was in London with my old man, he was showing us his old stomping ground, when he was a little kid. And we walked them all. We walked all the way from Nelson's Column all the way up to Buckingham Palace. And that's what you have. One end you've got the Nelson Column, yeah? The Nelson Mandela Effect Column. And then on the other end we've got the buck, the dollar bill, the Buckingham Palace, the control system. And funnily enough, there's the old, the new mall basically parallel to the old Pall Mall Road or whatever the hell that's called there. I don't know. But there's some interesting stuff on there, and that's probably a decode. Probably I could go through a lot of that stuff on another, another day, I suppose, a whole nother decode. I mean, you can go. I mean, the things that shoot from Nelson's Column, you can go directly almost to the Houses of Parliament, to Big Ben. And so I don't know, but that's again another thing. You're going from the man again, from the column, to another thing that is controlling man. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to get too bogged down with all this. I think that was pretty much it. I wanted to, and then of course we've got the bull, the raging bull coming in. Robert De Niro, the raging bull. What do I want to say about this? Got really, the idea of the raging, the bullfight or whatever is, I mean, okay, yeah, Dan, they've used that because they're referencing the bull ring that's in Birmingham. Okay, yeah, all right, I get it. but really in terms of English culture or anything to do with the Commonwealth culture, bullfighting is, or the raging bull was far from anything that I've ever seen. What do I want to? Where do I want to go with this? This is the thing that's got to be tamed. Okay, when the holy cow is out of control, that's when we've got the raging bull, basically, and that's when we're in a lot of trouble. Okay, now I think I'm going to leave it there for the whole thing. Of course, they have Australia. This is also the home. This is funny as well because Birmingham's the home of Ozzy Osbourne, so we've got that Aussie reference. And the first people to do the parade, people coming in, are the Australians. So we have the Aussies. So there's a few Aussie reference, indirect Aussie references, sort of thing. I just thought it was interesting as well. The reference to Oz. So I'm going to leave it there with that part of the decode. We've done, again with the Rob, the last video with the Rob thing that happened on the 24th of May. Again, here we go with another Rob. Okay, except this time it's Robbie Knievel. What else do I want to do? I don't really want to do that. Don't need to do any of that. Okay, I'm going to do this. So this is what I want to do. Let's go to this first. I want to do one more little number jump from 9/11 to our day of August the 17th. Okay, but what I'm going to do, this is pretty interesting because we're going quite a long jump there. We're going from 2001, 9/11 in 2001, and we're going to see where that leads us to. Okay, and I'm going to show you a set of numbers. Actually, let's do this first. I want to look at some numbers here, and I want to look at this top row of numbers right here. Okay, because this is, it seems like an interesting place to have some reference numbers right here. Okay, and the reason why this is interesting is because it's like the beginning. I don't know, and it's all to do with, I don't know how to explain it, just a very simple cycle. It's the most simplest cycle there is, and so to find a set of balanced numbers that's potentially in this first row of just standard numbers, like it's as easy as ABC, 1, 2, 3 with Michael Jackson. We're going to be looking at these numbers. I've put it in paint, and let's look at them real quick. Okay, so we know that our central balance point is coming between all these numbers right here, straight down the middle. Okay, and so what we're doing is we're looking towards that central balance point. Okay, and we're going to pick some numbers out here. It's basically this set of numbers here in our number line, the 4, 5, and the 6 and the 7. So 4, 5, 6, 7. And why are we picking out? Why aren't we just picking out, the 5 and the 6? Why are we putting the 4 and the 7 in there? Well, let's go back to this thing very, very quickly. The reason why we're picking out the 4 and the 7 as well, which is Independence Day, is because the thing that surrounds, the thing that the man has to have in order to be free, and if you're free, you're in alignment with God. You're in alignment with balance, because you're not being controlled by somebody else. And the problem is when you're controlled by somebody else, inevitably you will end up causing harm to somebody else through that system of control. All right. This 11/7, this 11/18, and also, to be controlled by somebody else, it's not fair, is it? Okay, and if God's about anything, he's about fairness, he's about balance, he's about letting everybody be equal. He's about having everything perfectly balanced. God, I just sound like a broken record, but this is the numbers we're looking at, right, for the center of this whole table. Yeah, this 11, 18. These are the important two numbers, okay? And what surrounds these two things is this 47 right here, okay? And then, of course, we've got this 29 in here, and the 29, of course, is those two things added together, and it's also the individual sums of these two things. So this is essentially a repeat of these two, okay? So what surrounds basically all of this lot is another 47 on this side and this 47 here. Oh, jeez. The 47 here and the 47 here. So what's interesting about this top column is we've got a 4 and a 7 surrounding the 5 and the 6. And this is the most fundamental breakdown. Here's the number of man, number 6. And here's the number of the metaphysical, of the spirit, 5. Okay, so these two things here, yeah, with this reference to freedom on each side. Okay, so you see the 45 come up a lot. We've seen the 76 come up a lot. 67 maybe a bit. But when we look at this though, when we put it in here, if we're shooting an arrow towards balance here, towards that point, let's read the numbers inwards. Okay, let's read these numbers inwards. Let's not do 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's not do 7, 6, 5, 4. Let's do a 45 and a 76. Okay, right here, a 45 and a 76. So let's do that jump. Oh, blimey hell, that took a long time to get to that, didn't it? I want to go to this, and I want to go to this, and let's put that in. 7, 6, and the 4, 5, and then let's do the jump. Look where it brings us out. Well, I already said it, didn't I? But August the 17th, 2022. That's pretty nuts. That has to be pretty nuts, really, doesn't it? That this set of numbers here, we've got to read them right. We've got to read them to the center point. But that set of numbers, if we read it 1/2 and 1/2 to the center, is this number. Is this jump from 9/11 to August the 17th. That is just mental. In my opinion, it's just absolutely crazy. But I think that's really all I wanted to do for this video, because if I start putting any more in here, we'll be here forever. Alright, I hope you enjoyed that. Yeah, let's just call it the end. Alright, cheers, bye.